So today I wanted to share with you about creating a closer connection with your child, because that is something all parents want to do and want to make sure that we have a great connection with our children. So why is connection important? We want to make sure that we are connecting with our children because one of the basic goals of all humans is a feeling of belonging and significance. And if we can connect with our children on a deeper level and also provide them with opportunities to feel useful and contributing to our families, then that meets those basic needs that the children have. I always focus on connection over correction. Children most often know when they've done something wrong. And any tools or tricks you might have are kind of useless, and they aren't going to work as effectively until your child feels connected, and then they will want to comply or obey or even just work with you and problem solve. Children need to feel your unconditional love, not only when they are behaving well. And that's the hardest part of parenting, is to show that unconditional love when children are at their worst. So let's focus in on that. I really like this quote from Dr. Laura Markham. She says, "No amount of parenting skills can make up for an eroded parent-child bond. It's like riding a bike up a very steep hill. By contrast, parenting with a good relationship is like coasting downhill. You still have to pay attention and stay on the road. And twists and turns certainly arise, but the momentum is with you." So one thing I want to remind us, though, is that you will have to assume that you need to put in a significant amount of time and effort to maintain and build a healthy relationship. This is not only true with a parent-child relationship, but if you think about all relationships in your life, they require a give and take and your constant attention. It's not an out of sight, out of mind type of thing, or a once in a while. You also can't just feed into them once a week and then it maintains that. But take heart, it is never too late to work on that, to improve and to grow. When should you connect? Ideally, all the time. But some main points that are really going to improve and hit that connection is anytime you are apart from your child, physically or emotionally, it's a really great opportunity to reconnect. And I say physically and emotionally because physically, things like sleeping or when you're busy out of the house, coming home from school, but emotionally too, when you've just had an argument or a challenging time with that child. Transitions throughout the day are a perfect time to work on your relationship with your child. So how can I connect with your child? These are just a few really, really simple ones. Getting down at your child's level, especially if they're younger, is hugely effective. We don't often think about that, but especially when you're trying to correct a child, you can appear really big and scary and intimidating. And if you get down at their level or even just slightly lower, like in the picture, then it helps you to be more warm and inviting and meet them at their level. Always remember to listen before you speak. That's a huge one. I see quotes everywhere. It's even in the Bible to listen, be slow to speak. Actually, it's quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. We want to have our children feel that they are being heard. Sometimes even the simplest act of being heard by you will satisfy that need in them to come to you, whether it's even like perceived tattling or just sharing their experience. When they feel heard, it's just so calming and relieving for them. It validates their feelings. Now, validation doesn't mean specifically agreeing with them, but it means hearing their perspective and understanding their side of the story. Again, we want to connect before correction, especially if everybody is really worked up, yourself or your child. You might need a cooling off time before you address any problem solving. And always lots of hugs and smiles throughout the day. Now let's get deeper into this and some more practical things. One great way to make a connection with children is to have your own family rituals. Those are special, fond memories that they are going to have and want to include with their own children as well. So some things might be when you first wake up, you have some extra snuggle time, or a special bed routine. Lots of hugs and smiles, a fun handshake that's just unique for your family or that child. Even the simple ritual or daily thing of having an after-school snack. That's something they're going to treasure and remember. That's an important time to just have a conversation, make it around food, gather together before jumping into all the tasks of the afternoon. Extra attention is always important. Right before a perceived time of separation, you want to fill their bucket. There's lots of stories out there, children's books as well, about filling your bucket. And what I mean by that is to make sure that they've had extra attention, extra love, extra hugs, so that they're feeling positive and good, and then they can carry that with them when they aren't with you. Some situations of separation might be bedtime or naps, school, or if you're working, making supper. It's a perceived time of separation. You might physically be there in the kitchen, but your mind is distracted. If you're on a phone call or a conference call, again, you might be in the house, but you aren't giving them your undivided attention. Also, before you go grocery shopping, you want to fill them up with extra attention before you leave and go out for a time. Physical connection is also really important. Well, wearing young ones is a great way to connect with them. Also, lots of hugs, a gentle touch. If you're talking to a teen or a preteen, just put your hand on their shoulder when you're talking to them, look them in the eye. That means so much more to them than calling them from the couch or shouting at them from another room. Lots of snuggles, and roughhousing is such a fun way. It relieves tension, gets them giggling. I had a special note about tickling though. That is great and fun, but be aware that induces some a different type of nervous system than the roughhousing, because you can't stop that as easily. So some children might be laughing, but they really want you to stop, but it's a different nervous system that's being used, and they're uncontrollably laughing. It can also make them too hyper, and then you have to work on calming them down. So just be aware of that one. It's also important to turn off technology and spend actual time with your family, giving your child your full attention. That might mean putting down the phone. If they come in while you're working, turn around and face them. They can tell if they have half your attention, and they'll keep at you and keep bugging you until they have your full attention.